Hey guys, so this is my ed talk for the second section of readings, and that was Taboo 3 and 4, Classroom Management 4 and 5, and What Should I Do 3 and 4. Okay, so the main idea that I got from each of them, what should I do? I got that, students are people too, and we need to treat them as such. Get to know them, understand that life is not always perfect. It rarely is, in fact. And then what to teach and how to teach it. Not just, oh, I'd like to include some, multicultural influences into my classroom, but how do you do that? How do you do that in a way that's both respectful and not assuming? And it should just be part of our curriculum anyways since the beginning of time, but now we have to create it of our own. So those were the main ideas that I got from the What Should I Do reading. From Taboo, I got, the whole section was called Science and Math Matters, and to me that's really important, being a science potential, and just the way that you do inquiry in science classrooms is the way that you do inquiry in life. And I think that that's really important for the college and career readiness aspect of things, your 21st century skills, all that stuff that we've been talking about. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, I guess. So that is one section that I found really important out of the Taboo. And I also really like the Abby's world. I find myself kind of struggling with the idea that I would like some sort of inclusive place of dialogue and everything like that, but in a science classroom, I don't have time to bring in that much literature, and I feel like literature is the best place to have those kinds of discussions and have those kinds of open community types of things. So I would love to do that, but I also have curriculum that I need to cover, and while there are times for some of that stuff and there are opportunities for some of those things, which I would like to take advantage of, it's not going to be an everyday thing. It's not going to be able to be Abby's world. Even though I don't know if that's necessarily a great thing for that classroom to be in that way. So I found that interesting that even though you have this open concept classroom, you still have struggles with the everyday life things, like people are still going to be unsupportive of you because you're not them, and there's still issues of class and race and etc., etc., etc. I find that interesting. From the classroom management book, so rules and routines obviously was major. I feel like that is such a huge part in classroom management. If you have rules and routines, that's them practicing the rules every single day, and I really like that. That's something that I am a big fan of when it comes to classroom management. If you have the rules in place and it's a welcoming environment, I feel like you really have something going for you. And then it leaves you space and time and effort to have those relationships with your students so that they can come to you when they need something. They know what they need to do for you. They know what you expect of them, and they know that you're there to support them as long as they put in the effort. So I think if you have your rules and routines in line, your relationships are going to be great with your students because they know you care and they know you want them to succeed, and then they will come to you if they need you, and they will they'll show up. They'll do the thing. They will show up to class. They will do the activity. They will turn in their work because you are there and supporting them, reminding them. You have those routines down where you constantly are on them. Especially for freshmen, I feel like that's important. You really need to get them into the habit of doing all these different study skills. So that's what I'm doing now as freshmen. So that works for me. Relevant to what we're doing in the classroom, we're really setting down some good routines. It's a strange transition where they had 3 weeks of school, and then I came in, and then now this is our 4th week, And things are kind of changing, and that is difficult for some of them, but others are like fine with change. For example, on Monday, we're going to kind of go over all the things that either kind of changed or more solidified, and they're just not like understanding our routine of it yet. So the procedures and things like that. So that's what's really kind of happening now in our classroom, my student teaching classroom. Just little things like, what do you do when you're absent, and what do you do with late work, and et cetera, et cetera. So we're really working on that. And then I'm also getting a lot of students coming up to me and just talking to me at lunch. I've had 4 different students this past week interview me for an assignment that they had to do, which was all about my experience in school. And that was really cool. I felt like we were able to like sort of make a little connection and have a little relationship with that. And I remember their names in class. There's 140 of them, so I'm having trouble. So there's some kids that I'm constantly like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's our relationship, trying to keep them on track, trying to give them those skills. And it's getting better and better. And I reminded one of the students that I'm leaving in December, and she about cried because we had, become a good relationship between a teacher and student. So obviously I'll come visit, but it was nice to know that she cared as much as I care. Relating to each other, I really feel like all of these readings and even some of the module work was really centered on your relationships with students. They are real people. They're just not grown, and they need someone to support them. They may not have that outside of school. They may have a great family support out of school, but they are with you hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in a year. And they spend so much time with you that they need to know that you care for them. Does that mean give them the world and let them do whatever they want? No. What it means is setting boundaries, setting rules, having procedures, and helping them thrive within that environment. So that's kind of what I got out of all these. Taboo, of course, sort of pointed at the issue of race, which is always kind of difficult for me, being a Caucasian female. But I try not to put it by the wayside. I try to, if someone wants to say something about race, as long as it's respectful, we'll bring it in. But that is something that is a struggle for me, I think, and will continue to be. But these readings and things are starting to help. Okay, so bye guys. I'll see you on Monday or whatever. Okay.